Well, hello everyone. My name is Luke Thomas. This is Brian Campbell. This is our sex scene.
We said we would never do this again, at least not on camera. Not that part.
Hi. This is old school Room Service Diaries, where we tread a line between
Unemployment.
unemployment and dick jokes.
Yes.
And I don't know how good they're going to be.
Not good. Not great.
Because we're a little rusty.
But we're on the road here in Jersey City, New Jersey, which is, to be fair, a shithole. But it is our shithole, and even though you don't have the view to prove it, the Manhattan skyline is like right there. It's actually pretty nice out there. It
is. The Manhattan skyline from here. I one time got up at like right when the sun was just blocked by the skyscrapers in South Manhattan. I took a picture. It's one of my favorite pictures. This is the 43-year-old person's story, which is utterly worthless. and I should be euthanized for telling a story so stupid, but it is true. It was beautiful to see.
I thought that was going to end with somebody getting third worlded, but no, it was very, very wholesome in the end. Hey, my wife got me these socks a while ago. What are your thoughts on them?
Ride or die Chewbacca, bro.
No, bro. Check it out closer. Tupac. Chewbacca with the Tupac, Kevin Nash.
I feel like it's racist.
Do-rag. No, it's not. It's just... It's Chewbacca, bro.
That's Chewbacca who's just dropping the N-word at parties.
Yo, Chewbacca was ride or
dude,
die.
Stop
bro.
dropping the N-word.
Okay, Chewbacca was ride or die. Yo, this is mixing it with another American hero.
No,
Tupac,
this guy is telling inappropriate jokes in the workplace.
Chewbacca's more Kashyyyk American, to be fair, right?
Yeah. When was the last time? Like, I'm not talking something debatable. I'm talking like clearly over the line. When was the last time someone did something like wildly racist?
Oh, you didn't hear that announcer, Glenn Kuiper, on the MLB broadcast?
Oh yes,
that was.
When he was talking about the Negro League.
Yes, that was.
But he didn't use that.
No.
I was like, dude, those are kind of Freudian slips where you're like, man, you're not just.
Yeah, you better just pack your shit up because you're done at that point, right?
Get your stapler. It's curtains for you, buddy.
We are though here this weekend for some Showtime boxing undercards, but I gotta say, Friday's in studio show as we record this. This is Friday evening. I don't know when this is going live. When is this going live? Sunday? Monday?
There's a chance Tuesday? It never does.
Today, we had Deuces Wild, the Hot Wing Challenge. And we did Reverse Wheel of Death. And Ray fucking Longo got on the RSD 2.0 couch.
Dude, Ray brought the thunder.
He's like, hold on, I got a story about Matt Serra pulling a guy's eyeball out, basically. Let's go to it.
He pulled a Big John Fury, right?
Almost, yeah. He pretty much...
Basically, dude, Ray Longo is a treasure of a human being. A treasure. And he told some cool stories. He's old school as shit. Dude, he's like in the 60s now, dude. Those are exactly the dudes who you got to get their opinion from because they don't give a fuck about your feelings.
That's what I was trying to tell him, and I don't think I accurately did that, but I was trying to tell him that, like, you're this nice guy who doesn't give a fuck.
Not at all.
And you're go to war with anybody in this game at any point. I like that about him,
Yeah, he's the best, dude. And then we watched some Bellator.
We had this 10-wing challenge today.
How much did it mess you up?
So I ended up with eating 3 of the 10. You had 7, and I was messed up for a good half hour to an hour afterwards. Lips were numb, whole face was kind of ringing still and pulsating. But dude, you had 7 in a row. But you were definitely like McGregor at the end of the second Poirier fight at some points, right? You were just like, dude, it's over. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I never surrendered.
But
I leaned into the challenge.
But here's the part that I respected. As soon as the challenge was over, like 5 minutes later, you were like, oh, I'm good. I'm back to normal.
Quick recovery.
What is wrong with your body that you were able to do that?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Told you, dude, I eat a lot of spicy food. Like, it's not... Like, that was hot. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to say that wasn't hot. That shit was hot as balls. But I've definitely had worse. Than that.
All right. I enjoyed the stress that brought during that. I enjoyed... it didn't give me the shits.
Honestly, here's how bad it was not. Obviously, I didn't want to eat the wings, but like, I was only mad I didn't get them right just to stick it to you. I wasn't upset that I had to eat the wing.
Okay.
I was only upset that I couldn't make you eat the wing.
I was willing to eat all 10 if I had to, right? I would have been hurt.
I don't know if that would have been impossible, to be honest with you. Hey, you want to talk about Twitter?
In what regard?
Do you like?
Elon Musk?
Yeah.
your
Do
CEO?
you? Let me. There's always like cult personality around it, but I haven't had a chance to talk to people about it. I'm strictly speaking as a user experience.
Yes. But I don't pay the $8 for the star like
Fair
you do.
enough. Fair enough. I know. I did it before. He got all
What
crazy.
are you getting for that? You ain't getting shit.
Here's the only reason why I got it. I think it does give you priority in comments, but whatever. The one reason I got it is because if you don't have it, you can only upload videos 2 minutes and 20 seconds long. And I didn't like that restriction. I wanted to get around it, so I've been paying for Twitter Blue for some
You wanted
time.
like full adult films to be able to post.
I wanted to be able to put. Did you see that someone put like Mario Brothers on Twitter, and it was up for a solid 24 hours, and it got an insane amount of views before Twitter took it down. People, here's what I was going to say, man. I'm judging purely on user experience. There's some things that I definitely don't mind. There've been various, like I don't like the For You feed, but it's very much like taken from TikTok, and in that sense, I don't mind the attempt because I think TikTok is on something. Obviously, the Twitter medium is different, but like, I don't know, man.
See,
is your user experience better? Mine is not.
No, mine's gotten
better.
worse since Elon's taken over. To be fair, and I don't care about the check mark, but so that's not part of my analysis. But no, it's not been great. But I'm a little nervous about the larger TikTok takeover on social media, and I don't mean that from a Chinese American political standpoint, Luke.
I thought you were being racist again.
I meant more like, already, you know what I mean? We're like this as we fall asleep to bed. First, when we wake up, we're like this in our bed. It's like, those dirt holes. And I know there's probably some MK listeners out there that are this level of dirt hole who wake up and smoke the first cigarette under the sheets, right? Some just absolute, like, do you vape before you even get out of bed sometimes? Like, that's where you know your life is in the shit.
No.
You just give it up. Hold on, honey, I'll come up for those pancakes. Let me just get that water.
Well, I've never thought about it. You're right. If you can't even get out of bed before hitting the vape, man, you really quit.
I forgot what I was teeing that up for. Oh, I'll get it. So the addiction level, as you already know, first as a adult in this era, we were the last generation to like become a man without the internet, and then the internet came full on top of us, right? Pour some sugar on us in the name of love, right? So my point is, it's already at crack addiction, this phone that's like jumping out and trying to get my attention, and now you're like, bro, I'm killing it on TikTok where it's like, yo, I gotta, at 44, okay, I'm gonna be 45 this summer, I gotta draw a line and say, some of this shit is not only not for me, but I don't think it can be for me because it's gonna fuck up my brain wiring. All right?
Yeah, I think that's fair. I would say
it's too late.
What they're trying to do is all these apps, but like TikTok in particular, is like obviously they want you to be on there as long as possible, but the way they would measure it is like session time. So not how much on per each video, although I'm sure some of that matters as well. But they just want you on. They just want you on that thing as long as possible, whatever it takes.
Yeah, so I don't want Twitter to become like anything else. I like Twitter.
Dude, but the ability to go viral on TikTok, I cannot overstate this. Their algorithm really sets you up for success. Like, I've gotten a video, the one I did for Izzy on his win, the one over at UFC 287. Dude, that thing's at like 6.1 million fucking views, man. Yeah. Like,
how are they not taking you down for violating copyright?
Because they have a fairly lax policy regarding that kind of stuff. Dude, TikTok is remix culture. Remix. That's all. The more you spend time on there, everything is intertwined with itself, and some of it gets monotonous. But
okay, I want to ask you about technology as a whole, Luke, because I
mostly use it for pornography.
I don't really read too often, Luke, but when I do read, it's on technology. But I sent you that link to that Guardian story where the guy who kind of created the whole AI bust out boom for Google is now saying, hold on, guys, I want to be out of this because this is too powerful. Basically, the new AI is going to, is going to bring on the Matrix, and then eventually it will lead to the biggest world war, which will be us against the robots. Yeah. Do you have an intergalactic future, romanticism for future intergalactic wars when we take on these computers that we're allowing to take over our brains?
Between the humans and the machines, I'm Benedict Arnold, motherfucker. I'm riding.
You'll work for those machines in a second.
Dude, I'm riding with
You'll be like,
the
you know what?
machines.
Machines never hurt me. It's people that
Dude,
did.
I'm riding with them.
Okay, but in all seriousness, and I'm not being super crazy, conspiracy weird, but here's the deal. AI can already do your homework. It can already produce videos of you saying things that you never said. Like, I mean, you can do a lot of crazy shit now with it. Mm-hmm. It's going to take over, bro. It's going to start telling people how to live their lives.
No, I think I'm a little more skeptical about certain forms of AI. So I found this debate someone held between people who are like very pro AI,
Yeah.
people who are very anti AI, and it was illuminating. The biggest conclusion or the biggest thing that seemed to be true to me, subsequent to me listening to this debate, was that stuff like ChatGPT is certainly interesting and helpful technology in a variety of different ways, but there's some basic problems with it. One, it's just something that approximates language based on patterns, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't actually have a concept of truth and the ability to sort truth, which is why it will invent things that never happened. It will say you can do things you never did. It will tell people they wrote books that never existed. It's because it has no fundamental capacity to grasp truth. So it's an interesting tool, but it's a broken one. And what also appeared to be, people think you can program around that, and of course it can get better, but this is the way it was explained to me. This technology, that version of it, is not new. It's actually been around for some time, but the reason it's now accessible and interesting is because it's a better product. And this guy who's been involved in AI, where did he work? I think Microsoft, which obviously is behind one of the most important AI initiatives. He was saying that, like, it's not to say that the problems that ChatGPT faces can't be solved, this capacity to sort truth. It's just that ChatGPT is not going to be the one to solve it. There is another level that is required that we just have no ability to reach yet. Like this, in other words,
that
like,
level is going to create clone troopers.
what you're talking is about what they describe, that the term apparently for this is emergent properties.
Yes.
Things that just kind of boil up out of nowhere. There's, to my knowledge, there's no real evidence.
And they're going to be able to
emergent
find the
properties.
launch codes because everything's saved on a computer in the
Listen,
cloud.
as long as
once they hack that cloud,
Listen.
all the celebrity nudes will be wild. There'll be roast beef for everybody. It'll be like an Arby's drive-through, right?
See, can I be honest? I think I've eaten at Arby's maybe once in my
I know
life.
you failed in that regard. I'm not even kidding. Arby's is like fast food.
Dude, I literally look down on people. I think it's one step up from just stealing from a 7-Eleven.
No, dude. A
Which, by the way,
with curly
which, by the way,
fries
I've done.
and a Jamocha
I've done many
shake.
times.
So look, you're not afraid that forget about the computers taking over and starting a war. What about the evolution to the Matrix society? Remember in Total Recall where Arnold's character was able to put the mask on after they put the needle in him, and he got to go away in his head to whatever vacation with a slutty woman that he wanted?
Yeah.
We're almost there when you consider how many people are like plugging into the same video game for 15 hours a day, right? Or just us. If I'm on the road and I'm in a hotel, Luke, I'm probably on my phone the whole time, right? That's just what we sort of train ourselves to do.
You don't want to talk to me, that's for sure.
So how soon before you're going to wake up in the morning and just decide to put that thing on and type in your paradise and then just give up and just stay plugged into that machine?
I don't know. I don't have any. You're asking me questions.
Well, the machines take our jobs, Luke.
Yeah,
They already ran our grandfathers out of the factories, all right?
That's definitely going to happen. Oh, yeah.
How much technology is too much, bro?
Listen, as long as I can scam other people, that's really all I care about.
Are you talking about your super chat again?
Oh, tell me how's the cameo business?
It's a little slow at the moment, but for like a week, I was on fire.
Oh, yeah?
Bro. I was gangbusters.
How much, walk me through a normal cameo. How long is it?
Most celebrity cameos, I believe, are like on the worst end, like 30 seconds, and maybe on the best, 90 seconds. Mine are like 5 to 8 minutes.
Dude, what the fuck are you doing?
And each one's different, though. That's why I don't put any, because you can put them on your page. So, like, if somebody went to you go to a page of any celebrity, you can see like their last 5 videos if they made it public.
Yeah.
These are all personal requests, like, hey, can you reach out to my brother and make fun of him for this? Or, hey, can you wish my wife a happy birthday and tell her how much I love her? That I want each one to be so personal because each one's unique that I don't post them after the fact. But I'm giving you my time. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to make that dollar worth it.
Dude, if I paid for one of yours, I don't want 5 minutes of you.
No, but it's interesting.
I want 30 seconds to get the fuck out of my life.
Do you remember when we got to college and cell phones arrived and everybody had one? I was the master.
I didn't get one till my senior year.
Okay. I got one my junior year of college, my dropout year. I mean, no, that was my senior year. Luke, what I was going to say is that I used to just, call you and you didn't answer. So then I'd leave you like a 7-minute rambling voicemail of all the jokes that's in our friend group over the past couple of years intertwined. That's what Cameo is, bro. All right? People give me a couple buzzwords. I weave them a beautiful blanket, a hand-me-down that they can pass on to their family, It's a great scam, right? No, but I like it because I connect with our people, and that's the thing.
Dude, just transactionalizing your interaction with.
In a way, it's definitely a dirt hole move. But my guy Lupe Contreras was like, "Yo, I think you could do it. You could be great at it, and I can make 5% of your commission if you do this."
You gotta hustle out there. You gotta find an angle.
But I will say, I really enjoy it. But that's the difference between you and I, Luke. The only similarity we have in our relation to the MK fan base is that both of us have pretty much come to terms with the idea that one day we'll wake up in a bathtub in an abandoned building, missing one of our key organs, right? Like, it's probably inevitable, but on the road there, you love our people when they're out here. You know what I mean? Like, stay behind the camera lens. I'm on this side of the line. You people are on that side of the line. Thank you for your awards and patronage, but stay the fuck out of my life in DC and my family.
Here's what you don't.
Bitch.
No. Well, first of all, I don't. What?
But where I'm like, yo, thank you guys for making our show great.
No, you've jacked off our fans a few times.
Okay, that is aggressively dishonest, right? You know what I mean?
You've brought them to sexual climax and really awkward and awful
maybe
ways.
Emotional climax, maybe. All right.
No, dude, I do that with every person. Like keep people at a distance. Like there isn't a segment of my life where I don't do that. It's not like in any way special.
So if I said who hurt you, the answer would be who hasn't, Luke?
Yeah, bro, I don't even know anymore. Doesn't even matter anymore.
Okay, but you know who didn't hurt you?
Who?
Appy. Don Paquette, all right? All right.
It didn't hurt me, but he was close talking. Yeah. Like, dude, you ever see when someone is so drunk that sometimes it's like, hey, we talked last night, don't you remember? Yeah. And they'll be like, oh, I don't know, whatever. There are times where you ever seen someone so fucking hammered that there'll be no memory of this interaction on this person's end in subsequent days. Like, they're just absolutely zeroing out their brain for that day. That was David Appleton. I was like, holy fucking shit. Yeah. Dude, I still can't get over it. The Brits get busy with the fucking bottle.
When the Brits are like,
they get
even
busy.
if the Brits are like good dads and good family, man, but they're like, yo, once a month I get together with my friends and we hang out. Like, I got this thing I'm going with my high school friends. You know, like after you get married or after you get out of college, like you see your core friends a lot, but every year it gets a little less. And then people get married or engaged or move, and then it's like a little bit less. We were getting onto the point, me and the high school friends, where it was only like once or twice a year. So now we got this thing we call Monday Night Raw. We get together at a brewery, we play cards, and we tell really bad jokes, Luke. And it's like it's a reconnection there.
How many involve the N-word?
None of them at all. I forgot what my setup was. Where was I going to try to bring that back to you, Luke? But
who hurt me?
But no, I don't. I guess I forgot. I mean, that's the.
You're sober, right?
That's the price you pay. You know what I mean, at this level, right? Yeah. But I'm sure it was going to be good. But Luke, ultimately, how many of our audience? I know we got some weirdos, but they're passionate weirdos, right? So I can respect the passion.
Yeah, for sure.
But how many are just normal folk? That could be, could be your neighbor. I think we got a lot of normal people too. I think our fan base gets a bad name.
No. Do they?
I think we got a lot of washed dads, all right?
Yeah, we got a lot of dirt bags. I mean, let's just be honest. We got some dirt. We got some diggity dirt bags in the
You
ring.
should see the Have You Seen the Shit videos that don't make it.
Dude, people still send me stuff. They'd be like, give this to Brian, like I'm the shortcut. Don't do that shit.
I love when they go through me on the DMs, like, yo, ask Luke this MMA question, and then it's like 5,000 words,
No, I get if they hit you up to be like, yo, tell Luke to unblock me. That one is a regular. But don't do that shit where it's like, yo, give this to BC. No, you give it to BC.
Yeah.
Trust me, he's looking for the attention.
No. When we're not looking.
Dude, why was there another video with Chef Kaz in a car? No shirt on.
Chef Kaz DM'd me a picture of him driving with those
Dude,
things.
that's what I'm talking about. The guy's got
takes his skin and he squeezes
it's
it.
Like it's like he's got these fucking like headlights attached to his body. I don't even know how to explain it. And he's shirtless in like some kind of, I don't know, Jeep or whatever the fuck. And what was he talking about? Some shit?
I don't know, but yo, chef, yo, shout out to Chef Cass. That's my guy, dude. He's a world-class nutritionist and fighting chef. All right, and he's a capoeira master.
Is he?
Yo,
Capoeira is hard as shit, bro.
and he's a new father. All right.
Yeah, man. Capoeira is hard as fuck, bro. Don't let anyone tell you off.
That's fight dancing, right?
Yeah, dude. That shit's like the ones who are good at it. That shit is Cirque du Soleil acrobatic, man. It's pretty incredible. So I'm very skeptical that he's actually.
Yeah, I had a whole line of questioning. I was opening up a door too, and then I just fell apart. Look,
Have you watched anything interesting?
are you talking? What category are you talking about?
Netflix, HBO Max.
So I watched the show with my wife called A Million Little Things, and they had their final finale right after 5 seasons to wrap it up. And dude, I wasn't paying attention to what the final episode might be, but it was like this dude like dying of cancer in front of like his friends, and yo, that shit ripped me apart, just crying like a bitch, yo. Like I don't even almost wanted to turn it off. Yeah, I mean, I got level. It was like a body punch. It was like Gervonta to Ryan Garcia, and I was just like, nah, that's fine.
Dude,
Have you been like leveled like that in a while?
Yeah. Not like quite like that, but I can't watch sad things with kids anymore.
Oh my god,
at all,
dude! I can't watch. I had to stop watching hospital shows because the flashbacks to being in there with my kids when they were young.
I'm so good on that. Like, no, thank you. Like that shit has definitely softened me. I can't do that at all.
That's PTSD on that ass.
No.
I don't think I've seen anything awesome in a while because I watch different things. I watch a lot of '90s NBA with the volume down while I'm listening to '70s music, Luke, on vinyl. That's in my office in the basement. That's like King in the Castle shit right there. That's my life. Okay. And it's now or never.
That's your happy place?
Because I'm not going to live forever, you know what I mean?
What is, dude, all any married guy ever wants?
Is to be left alone.
Well, the way I would explain it is as follows. They want to be able to watch pornography with the volume on.
Oh, stop that.
With the volume on. That's the kicker. With the volume on. How do you have
is that part of your tight 10 you're putting together here or what?
It's a bit. I do a bits and skits and bits. Do you have how private is your setup?
My setup?
Like a little office and shit down there that you fucking
for masturbation? What are you asking me? Like, I mean, this is
both yes and no.
No, I put soundproof things all over the wall, all over the ceiling. Because my kid's room is above me, and back during the pandemic, MK gets really loud in the tiny house.
Oh, fuck yeah, man.
So I got one of those, one of those giant, heavy moving blankets that you get in, like, if you rent a U-Haul truck. I got one of those covering my door.
Oh my god, dude! I had the worst motherfucking experience at you kind of said it, but at a moving company recently, dude, I was just like, what in the motherfuck is this? I had a reservation time for 11 a.m. I was so pissed about this. I go into this lady who's like not even trying to help me, right?
Oh, she hates you right away.
I have to go pick up the keys. I have a 10-foot truck that I had rented.
What, are you helping a family member?
Yeah, I'd help a family member move. And so I go in there, and I had a reservation at like 11 a.m. And I go in there, and she like takes forever to like work through this other couple's problems. I get to her, and she's like, "Oh, you have to go through the check-in process." And I'm like, "Oh, fuck me!" On my phone, takes forever. They literally have to call another person to like verify your fucking identity or something. It's the weirdest shit. Finally, you have to take a picture of your driver's license, all this stuff. It finally gets through. Now it's like 10:45.
They're like, "Sir, we actually need a semen sample. If you don't mind, we got a room over here." Yeah.
So I'm just like, dude, what in the fuck? So I finally go to get my truck. It's not even in that building. It's across the street, basically. You have to go get it. I go to get my truck. They give me the fucking beater. They're like, yeah, it's in that line there. But mine was behind like 3 other ones.
Is it a box
So they
truck?
have... It was just with the 10-inch fucking truck, or 10-foot truck. So they move all the shit to get my truck out. Then I get mine. Dude, they gave me a truck that looked like it survived, the 91 fucking LA riots. Or something,
yeah. So is Reginald Denny's 18-wheeler?
Like people hit it with bricks. Like it had the bit where it technically did lock, but it wasn't flush with the spot. Yeah. And I get in there and I turn the light on, or I turn the ignition, and when I say every dummy light was on.
Yes,
I'm talking check engine light, no windshield wiper fluid, the whole bit. And then,
This vehicle will self-destruct. Yeah.
dude, and then there's a fucking thing on the dashboard that says left tire pressure low, fill immediately. And I'm like, dude, I'm not driving this fucking vehicle across town. Like, what the fuck is this? So I have to go back into there. And I was like, I cannot drive this truck. And I was like, oh, by the way, I also secured a furniture dolly. And they're like, oh, yeah, we don't have those. I'm like, okay, right. Let me see if I understand this. It's now 11, or excuse me, it's now noon. I still don't have a truck, and I don't have a fucking dolly, and you didn't tell me.
Did they trick you into getting the insurance too?
I get I've had an issue before where like I needed the insurance, so like I pay for it.
Yeah, but you have your own insurance that has clauses.
I know, but like I don't mind the extra bit. But the point I'm trying to make is, then they finally get me another vehicle. That one worked great. Still don't have a fucking furniture dolly. And then, I was on my way, and I was like, do I have to have it back now? Can't you just push me an hour? They're like, someone's waiting on the vehicle. I'm like, yeah, motherfucker, me, me. I'm the motherfucker waiting on the vehicle.
Yeah,
so they were like, okay, you can come back later. So I actually still made it like right around the same time. But, dude, what the fuck is that, man?
Yeah, I mean, you know.
I was like, what the fuck is going on? It's the worst customer service.
Yeah, but you also are at that point in your life where you have no patience for other people. Remember, what was that you told me like one time, like they got us a car to go out to dinner in which they were paying, and like you were like waiting at the meeting point. You were like, yo, if these people don't show up soon, I'm just gonna get my own car. And I'm like, yo, they just rented us a car to take us out to this dinner. You're like, yeah, but I'm at a point in my life where I don't wait on anybody.
Why are you making me out to be
Yo, you
some
definitely
antisocial villain?
You definitely said that.
It's true, dude. You know what, man? I gotta be honest with you. I got a lot of anxiety, bro. I got a lot of anxiety. It's crippling.
Okay, where does your anxiety, which we all have, but to different levels, where does it come out? Where is it the most that it screws up your life? Because mine is work travel. Like that's part of when you're like, when you're like, hey, dude, come out in my room and hang out. And I'm just like, dude, we were on camera for 6 hours. We were traveling for 18 before that. Like,
I know. The only reason why I want to hang out is, I mean, that's not the only reason, but it just feels weird to like only talk to you in those circumstances. You know what I mean? That's why I try to break it up a little bit.
Relationship transactional, you know, in that regard. But that is where, like, I'm not afraid of the plane falling out of the sky. I'm not afraid of any of the danger. Just that chaos of being stuck in one spot and being at the mercy of other people's timing. It just drives me like. And it's getting worse, dude, because we're traveling more. We're doing bigger shit. My travel anxiety is getting worse.
Dude, that travel, you know what? That vacation I went on, I know it was long. I didn't even really know I needed it. And like, honestly, here's the truth. My wife was like, she was like, you haven't really planned anything for the vacation, because we went back to one of our favorite places.
Cartagena.
Yeah, but the truth is, like, dude, I could barely stumble to the finish line of that vacation. It took everything I had. And then all I wanted to do was just chill. I didn't want to do shit else.
All I wanted to do was run a zoom, 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 and a boom, boom. Yeah, just shake the rim. Yeah.
And dude, it was great. Like, I feel better. But like, I'm saying that run right before, and you went to the Tank Davis one. Like that run right there, that run whooped me, man.
I had a crazy sequence of like getting home from work trips.
Dude, you did the fucking showbox stuff too, man.
Yeah. I mean, it's taking days and years off my life.
For sure it has.
But you know,
You're not getting out of that easy.
But here's the deal, though. Like we're always upfront about our ambitions. Like, dude, we got a small peak window here. You know, we're at this point in our career, Luke. Let's be real, right? Or are you on Twitter? Is good?
No, I'm listening to you.
All right.
Trying not to be frightened.
I mean, look, dude, I got goals and dreams. Like, I want to call fights. You know what I mean? I mean, we're lucky to do prelims together, and I got this showbox thing going. But like, dude, I want to be working the broadcast when the fights frickin' happen, and I'm willing to do whatever it frickin' takes to get there.
Me too.
I mean, dude, that's the drug in this game. Forget the money. You know what I mean? Look. If we go to that one day full time, would you have a different, more relaxed schedule? Probably. You'd probably be making a lot more money. But I'm willing to die on the road to get there, Luke, because I think it's worth it. Because I mean, the money's probably great. All that's great. But what about sitting right there?
Do you think about like broadcasters who've had like the best career in terms of, longevity in the space? The fans like them. steady work for a long time. We always talk about Joe Rogan on the MMA side, which is obvious. Like, he's been front row to the craziest shit. It's just the most remarkable experience. Dude, put some respect, and I mean this. Al Bernstein, dude.
Yeah.
Al Bernstein, every time I go back and I'm like, oh, I wonder what I remember catching up on fights I missed from like the 90s, the boxing fights. There's Al calling shit again, you know.
Dude, Al's going back to like the early 80s.
Yeah.
In terms of like the elite top level. And I mean, dude, him and Barry Tompkins, who I'm so happy to be working with now on Showbox, when they did the ESPN gig, when they had that Top Rank series in the late 80s and early 90s, and they aimed to do the two guys at a bar. That was like their strategy. Like, yeah, I might be play-by-play sometimes, you might be play-by-play other times, but we're just calling this like we're hanging out. Like, that's the dream right there. Like, they had something going there. Like, that was chemistry. You know?
Yeah.
That's what I want, man. That's what I want to be a part of. I mean, do you get down with that? I mean, what I'm actually asking, what motivates you in the broadcasting side beyond, like we said, beyond money, beyond trying to get recognition, which we all want to be like considered the best, and these awards in this podcast make it all fun and all that. But like, I'm looking at it like that's the elite level of this job, and I want to compete on that level. I want it to be known that I'm competing on this level. What gets you out of bed in that regard? Probably just the money. Yeah, you motherfucker.
What the fuck? First of all, that wouldn't be a bad thing. But no. Just, I think it's you just want to be, like, what do you want out of a commentator? Like, what do you want? You want them to be helpful. You want them to be like a guide.
So you want to literally like help educate the audience, take them along.
Well, it's like, the truth is, I'm educating myself constantly.
Yeah.
And I have. I mean, dude, the job is not fucking rocket science. And just break it down this way. Like, I don't have any other gifts that any other person I think could have. I don't have like some special blah blah blah. I
used to write speeches in Washington. Don't count yourself short.
Well, here's what I mean to say. But I have time in the day to invest in the looking at tape and talking to people in the industry and getting feedback from coaches and blah blah blah, like it goes on and on. I have the time and the resources to do that. So obviously, over time, you do it long enough and decently enough, you're going to pick up some stuff along the way. But that's it, man. That's really it. Like, I would just like to. I would like to have like the kind of command of the craft.
Yes.
Where people feel like they really get something.
You want to enhance their experience.
Yeah, that's what
I want to in similar but other ways. I want to be on the soundtrack to that fight. You know what I mean? How many moments, great moments. We don't fight, but we love the game. We want to help elevate it. I want to deliver my part of the job on the call that elevates the broadcast I'm watching. That you say, damn, that fight was so great. But that, that announcement that got me in there was like a roller coaster. Like, they just took us right. They were our guide, right?
Dude, I tell you what though, like where I'm at with stuff, I think about the times. Like, one of my favorite fucking things that still happens all the time is when I listen to somebody who's good at it describe what's happening in a fight or describe a fighter. And sometimes it can be extremely analytical, like foot placement, blah, blah, blah. Sometimes it can be more narrative driven. But there comes times where someone says something about a fighter, usually in a moment of victory, but not always. And it's so brilliant, you actually can't see them the same anymore.
Yeah.
Like, it really is like, oh, fuck, how did I not see that before? Like, holy fuck, that is so true. Not to be like, you can't be the person that delivers these consistently, but like, you really remember those broadcasts.
Absolutely.
You remember like, fuck, that was such a great point. And there's so many people, I want to be clear, like, there's so many people who are doing really great work. If I could contribute, that would be, you're asking what success would look like. It would look like something like that, but
And I still, on top of that, I still love great interviews. I love being a part of them. I don't think anybody interviews like we do together on that RSD.
Yeah, I actually like doing interviews like the ones like we did today. Those are fun as shit. I do need to do more interviews though.
But there's an art to that. More. There's also a rush you get in that, because
I've been too checked out.
I mean, sometimes you got to fight the subject. Sometimes you got to kiss up the subject. I mean, you've got to play armchair psychologist in a way to try to, if you're trying to get something out of it and what your intention is, but you also got to be able to read and react on the fly. And I never want the subject to know exactly what my true intentions are.
Because they're not your adversary.
Exactly. They're not my friend. They're also not my enemy. So I always want them to be guessing. I always want them to be going, wait, did he just insult me? No. Or like, wait, is this guy a clown or what? Like, because, do you realize, this, you've been interviewing people for years on your shows. It's like, especially when you get a guy or a girl that is not a great interview and you're like, okay, I'll do it, but like, I haven't had great success here. When you're able to finally play psychologist or pick an angle and it works, and you get, like, the first time I got Cowboy Cerrone to say something that was like worth sharing, I was just like, damn, that was worth it. That was like my 7th interview with him, and I've tried to piss him off, I've tried to get him to laugh, I've tried everything, and I finally found the inside. Because look, you don't want them to say what they've already programmed their mind to say. You know what I mean? You don't want it to sound like the other 50 interviews that they're doing. You want something real.
I know, but I have to tell you, like, that's an exhausting way to go through interviewing. Like, here's why I disagree with that. Like, it's not that you can't do it. You can, and I've seen you do it. Like, you can do it. But the real way to combat that is you have to develop relationships with the fighters, such that the kind of person they view you as is the kind of person where they can share those other details.
True.
It's all about your proximity to them.
You're not always going to get that, or
no,
that
it's hard as fuck to do
work.
that.
But I don't care if they're giving me 8 minutes, which I had when I used to cover WWE. Man, I was the king of that. You're only going to give me 8 minutes for this guy, and I've got to hit these 2 bullet points. I'm still going to get some sound that's worthful. I'm still going to find that.
No, I don't have quite that. I don't have quite that same.
So, but I almost love that. From a competition angle or from a challenge angle, when I'm getting a big name but only 15 minutes, as much as that sucks, that's also a challenge. How quickly can I get them to say something that they weren't prepared to share, either good, either bad, either surprising, whatever,
Yeah, I tend to gravitate to the ones who are already more on the articulate side, typically.
All right.
Not always.
Did you like articulate women in college too? Probably.
I don't understand. I got to tell you, I don't get the whole part where dudes like dumb girls. I was never that guy, man.
I was never that guy either, but I get it.
Like, if you're actually picked, you get it.
I come from an area where we're raised to get it.
Okay, right? I'm not talking about like, hit it and quit it, fucking escapades. That's
not another rant against suffrage like you were doing earlier.
That was you dumb bitch. No, quite the opposite. I get the whole part about like, hey, it's in between my junior and senior year in college. I've got a job in the city. I'll date her for 6 weeks or whatever. I'm not talking about that. I'm actually talking about like long term.
You did it all for the nookie, you dirty dog,
like dating someone who's obviously fucking. Either way, no matter what your preference or direction, why would you like be cool with a partner who is quite obviously a fucking moron? That I just don't get that. Like, how can you develop a meaningful partnership over time if your interest level and the ability to like navigate the world are so disparate?
The easy answer is that people, based on how they were raised or how volatile the early relationships were, have different understandings of what a real or what a genuine relationship is. So why would people
want a smart, successful partner is a good thing.
Well, I agree with you on that. That's certainly, I feel like I went after
these guys date dumb women and then they're like, oh, women are dumb. No. The women you surround yourself with are dumb.
Right, but there's
plenty of fucking super great ones.
They're already predetermined to try to get themselves into an imbalanced relationship anyways, because that's the only balance they understand.
But I'm asking you, man to man, who the fuck can make a serious argument that dating a person, I'm not talking less intelligent.
If you have low self-esteem and you want to be...
then fix your low self-esteem. That's not a good marriage. Like that's not a high functioning relationship. I would never
recommend that for finding marriage. No, but hot and dumb, that is something that people are looking for, though.
Again, short bursts for whatever reason, no judgment. But as a long-term thing, like just being in a relationship with a person who's a fucking moron.
You were more into like hot and crazy than hot and dumb.
Yes, that's correct. I can't tolerate I just no.
If you're willing to put up with a certain amount of crazy when you were single, you'd also be able to shop in a higher tax bracket.
That is accurate. That's actually surprisingly accurate. Yes, that's actually quite true.
Yeah.
Wow, I haven't quite thought of it that way.
Real talk,
real talk, like men do. That's exactly correct. That's
You're like, what's a front door anyway? Right? You know, most countries don't even have them, Luke. Right? You know.
Yeah, that's true.
When was the last time you used one of those toilets that's not really a toilet? It's just a hole in the ground that you talk about from like the Middle East and from like.
Dude, I know you think that every place other than America.
I said, when was
is
the
a
last time
festering
you
pile of
used
feces,
them?
but I have news for you. There's many wonderful parts of the world. The last one I saw, the weird part of, dude, Istanbul is one of these, like, you know, used to be called Constantinople and all that shit. Like, dude, Istanbul is one of these places, man. You're in the middle of it, and it's like you can just feel the world history everywhere around you. Like, it's crazy. So a lot of neighborhoods are really new. A lot of ones are really old. From what I remember, the Galata neighborhood was really old, and then the like Besiktas area was a little bit more new.
Boucher. It's actually pronounced Boucher. What is it?
Bouchecha?
Bouchecha, yes.
Besiktas is also like a soccer club. But anyway, in the old Galata area, there was this, it was like, I think by the Galata Tower even, there was this fucking commode. And the dude was, I'm not doing a bit, was charging 1 lira to tear out pages of a phone book.
Oh, yeah.
To go wipe your ass, to go take a dump in an opening. And I was like, dude, come on, Turkey, get it together. I mean, what are we doing here? Fellas,
Dude,
ladies.
I saw my first floor commode recently in Canyonlands National Park in Utah. When you go into the bathroom, which is like, you know, some cinder block walls and a roof outside.
Yeah.
And they have the regular toilet. They also had the what is that, the Asian model?
So did it have a bidet? Did it spray your anus?
Not a bidet, a hole in the floor with railings.
Oh,
around it.
fuck all that. Well, you just got to squat like an absolute.
Yeah,
like an absolute,
and I had never seen that before.
like a badger.
And the area where you drop into is closer than it should be to like
It's not like there's like clean separation in the
No, yeah, that you're squatting over a shithole, literally, Luke.
Yeah.
So when was the last time you used one?
So that would be, well, I guess actually I didn't end up. Oh, I urinated in it, so that doesn't really count.
No.
Marine
Unless
Corps.
you
Marine
also
Corps.
squat when
Marine
you
Corps.
urinate, Luke.
The Marine Corps, like just having to dig with an e-tool, just having to dig a hole and take. I told you about this. So what we did was in artillery, the purpose of artillery is to shoot, move, communicate. That's what everyone does. That's the whole bit. And what we used to do is on the hill.
Run trains? Yeah.
No, that was in the school. That was not actually in my unit where they got. I can't even.
I'm glad your unit didn't get involved in that train. Yeah, that's good.
No, but so what we would do is we took a milk crate and we cut out the bottom so it's just got the sides, and then we would zip tie a toilet seat to it, and then we would haul that around in the back of the Humvee, and then dig a hole with the entrenching tool, the E-tool. Put that bad boy on top and get to work. It was great. The only part that was the catch was, and this is not a joke, I'm not in any way exaggerating, this is 100% true, in the space where the ass and the feces would go is where they would store the coffee pot. That's a real thing that they actually did that I fucking hated, but I still put up with because I wanted hot coffee in the morning.
Wow. Do you go, or are you a part of any Marine reunion email chain?
I used to do that, and I still keep in touch with some of those guys. Funnily enough, one of the guys I served with, he ended up, I think, volunteering to do a couple of tours over in Iraq. I don't think he enjoyed the experience in the end, but he is of Chinese descent, and his family, which he now works there at 100% full time, owns one of the most, I didn't even notice it. I didn't notice at all at the time we were in the same unit. Owns one of the most like iconic Chinese restaurants in the fucking city. Like, dude, Chinese, or I think maybe, no, excuse me. I want to be careful about this. I think Taiwanese dignitaries or people of Taiwanese influence, like they go to this place as like a destination. So, he's doing great, which I'm really happy to see. Dude, a lot of them, man, they got weird at the Iraq war, bro. I'll just be honest with you. They got real weird. They got into like I talked about this in my live chat. Some of them were posting art, like phony artwork, but like artwork that referenced the Crusades. And I was like, yeah, I don't know if we're the same people anymore, man.
Do you think any of those guys are Proud Boys now?
Well, the ones who are my age are probably too fucking old. But I wouldn't be surprised. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they were. I wouldn't be surprised.
But do you think they made better soldiers because of it, though?
Dude, I had a funny conversation about shit like that. I gotta be honest, I don't know. But I will tell you this, man. You do need to embrace, not to get into the Marine Corps, but to really thrive in the Marine Corps, you absolutely have to, in my view, adopt especially in combat arms, right? You have to adopt a certain level of personal extremism. I don't mean political extremism. I mean personal extremism. A certain, for me, certainly a shattering of limits that would have been in your mind would have been prisons before. You have to go recklessly beyond that. And we call it like being gung-ho. And like, dude, you see these Marines who are super fucking gung-ho. Everything is buttoned up, like they first class PFTs and they're fucking this, but then they're drinking and they're fighting and the whole thing. You know, I do think it makes them better Marines. Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
The problem is, you know, it doesn't make you good at fuck all else. Like, it just makes you a complete maniac, you know? And there was some, dude, I honestly, like, I don't want to serve around someone who's such a maniac that they can't make good combat, real-time decisions, you know? But I've seen some maniacs who, you know, who could.
But you saw dudes who were in it for the sport, in it for the rush, in it for the experience, in it for hoping they go to battle?
Yeah, I gotta tell you, like, the person who's like that, who's also not intensely patriotic, is not as much as you might imagine. Like, Hollywood likes to paint like there's these kind of people who are like kind of into war, but they're not patriotic. Nah, the ones who are super patriotic are the ones who are into war.
Oh, they watch our show. They were there on the steps on 1-6.
But I'm telling you, dude, like especially I don't know about the officer ranks. So let me back up a second. These are the ones who go to college, and I was in college while I was in the Marine Corps, so I wasn't eligible to be an officer. In retrospect, I'm glad I did it the way I did it, but I was in the enlisted ranks, where a lot of it is just like grunt work. Dude, you want those guys to be fucking. The guys on the gun line, we called them gun rocks, because, like, you know, they weren't necessarily the brightest. But dude, they attacked the problem, like, in the most ferocious of ways, you know. You want that shit. And it turns them into, you know, whatever their pre-existing political orientation was before all that, it just supercharges it in some kind of weird direction in the end. That's the problem.
So is football just sporting war? A softer extension, a natural pivot?
I don't know.
We just got gridiron deep. Luke, did you consider, given your size, at all making a run for the football team at either of your high schools?
No.
Like, it wasn't even like it would be, I probably should.
No.
You know, it wasn't.
No, I didn't like American football while I was in high school.
Or Americans, or America.
I like plenty of parts of America. I didn't like Georgia.
Okay. You do protect the flag better than I do.
Yeah, I know. For all the bullshit I get, it's like, again, one of us did something about that. One of us didn't.
You also served our country, and I didn't.
That's what I was implying.
Yeah, I almost joined the National Guard to try to get the free college.
People shit on National Guard, dude. They're valuable. They're valuable. I mean, they're pathetic, but they're. I'm teasing. Dude, I know a lot of Marines. This is true. I know a lot of Marines who do like 8. So you would have to do an 8-year deal to get money for college. And what they would do is they would do 8 years, and then they would fucking hate the Marine Corps. Like, they would walk out of the Marine Corps on their hands and knees, like barely passing PFTs, like totally checked out. And then what they would do is they would stay in the reserves, and they would go into the National Guard and then stay in 20 years, and they'd be eligible for certain retirement benefits for life doing that. And I would ask them, like, how is it in the Guard? They're like, dude, it's a cakewalk compared to all that shit. It's easy as fuck, and they're all fat, you know. So, God bless them, man.
Yeah. I probably would have joined the Army, though, because I think I had the image of them being the toughest at the end of the day. I mean, maybe you can blame military movies on that, Luke.
Yeah.
Pat Tillman was in the Army.
No one's really. I mean, the Marines had the longest boot camp and then the longest training for what they would call the basically trained Marine, the same thing as a basically trained soldier. It's the longest boot camp. It's 13 weeks. The Army, I think, is 8 or 9. They're the only branch, the military branch, that runs 3 miles for their physical fitness test. The Army does.
So do you
that.
think the Marine makes the best specialists?
No, not necessarily. I mean, everyone is enamored with Special Forces, which is like 1% of 1% of 1% of the military. You know, everyone, like the vast majority of everybody else is just a fucking ordinary dude. Dude, I will tell you this much too. I have seen, you know what, well, you know what I want to say? I have seen so many people talk about these like extreme personality guys, some of which are military related, some of which aren't.
Some of which watch our show.
Some of which, yeah. But like, dude, these guys who are like so fucking macho, you know?
Yeah.
So fucking macho. Let me tell you, man, like those...
Dana?
No, let me give you a different example. I've said this before, dude. We had a guy, a drill instructor. He was not with I went to college. So if you go to college in the Marine Corps in 1998 during the summer, what they would do is they would let you skip 1 week, which is called team week. The Paris Island is self-maintained. So like the recruits cut the grass, the recruits work in the kitchen. It's self-maintained, and every troop, all the troops and all the battalions take turns in a week during that process helping to maintain the island. You get to skip that if you go into college so that you don't miss out on important parts of your thing. So instead of being 13 weeks, it was 12 for me. So I had to change platoons 2/3 of the way in over to 2nd Battalion E Company, and excuse me, 1st Battalion A Company. And they had a drill instructor over there, dude, who had the jump wings and the scuba bubble, which meant he was force reconnaissance. And which is the Marine Corps Special Forces. There's some other ones too, but that's the big one. And dude, this motherfucker was he was the toughest human being up to that point in my life I'd ever seen.
Was his name David Goggins?
I forget what, no, dude, this guy must have been on steroids because he was enormous and shredded, the whole thing. And he was a complete asshole.
So he was like real life Rambo, basically.
Dude, I'll never forget when we graduated, he told us, he goes, I hate you. I hate this job. I hate my wife and kids. When this is all over, I'm going back to recon. I'll never forget that, dude. That was the coldest shit. If he had stuck a knife in you afterwards, you'd have been like, I get where that's coming from. You know what I mean?
So wait, what does he mean, recon? What is he talking about?
It's like the Marines, the Navy SEALs.
But he lives for that. He thrives. Like
that's where he's back for that. So you get selected. The Marine Corps can order you to go do stuff like that depending on your situation. And I guess that they had, because he had the jump wings and the scuba bubble. And like, dude, you can see someone's rifles, not their score, but their quality. He was expert on pistol. He was expert on the rifle, and he had been expert many times because they had all these awards like in between. Like he was as thugged out as you could possibly be. And he was like, I hate you. I hate this job. I hate my wife and kids. When this is all over, I'm going back to recon. And I was like, dude, these guys don't make great husbands and fathers. Like they make real bad.
Neither do fighters, Luke. Okay.
That's not true necessarily.
It's a fair point.
Like the rest of the population, some are good, some are bad.
Yeah. All right, you backed me into a corner. Maybe I was wrong.
What kind of pornography are you watching these
Dude,
days?
I'm not watching it. This is you asking me that. It's very religious.
Pogs? You watch?
No. I'm trying to think. Dude, you know what's coming out soon?
Huh?
Tell me you're gonna get geeked for this, please.
What?
Dune 2.
Dune 2?
Dune 2. I think it may still be like under a year away, but so I don't know if you know this, Luke, but the first Dune book, which I bought and I got to get back into it, Luke. I do read once in a while, like once in a long while. But the first Dune book would essentially cover these two movies whole, Luke. So the first movie was only one half of the book. All right.
I tuned you out like 30 seconds
I mean,
ago.
a long time before that, to be fair.
Just tell me, when is the second movie coming out?
9 months, 6 to 9 months, something like that. But are you fired up? I mean, dude, that first movie was fucking awesome. Come on.
I'm not fired up until you see Black Hawk Down.
You say that is that the same guy?
I have no clue. I don't think so. But I can't believe you went on like, I'm going to watch military movies and you haven't seen which by the way is the thing that like actually happened.
Oh, so you think that movie is like superior to the other military movies? Like,
I think it's not the best military movie, but I definitely think it's better than military movies you saw. Yes.
It can't be better than The Deer Hunter.
No, it's not better than The Deer Hunter. That's a better movie, but
Platoon? Yeah,
but those are like films.
Yes.
That, I'm talking war movies where like a little bit more action oriented.
Joe, what was that Bradley Cooper one in the Gulf War? I like that one a lot.
Not Hurt Locker. Oh
no, but dude, Hurt Locker's real good. Jeremy Renner.
Hurt Locker's excellent.
Yeah.
Yes. Damn. Saving Private Ryan is good.
Yeah, but that's good in like a Disney type way, right? It is pretty
well,
cool,
except for the first fucking 15 minutes where they're just
but I guess
Germans alive.
like they commercially went after. That's an all-star game cast.
That was big budget.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm still a Letters from Iwo Jima guy.
Dude, you got me watch that. That was really good. But why don't you rep 1917? I mean, come on.
You overstate how good that movie is.
Dude, that movie's great.
It is great.
Cinematography is great. Extreme in that movie.
It is excellent.
They made it look like a one-cam shot the whole time.
I agree. It's well made. It's very well made, but it's still not that interesting relative to something where they can really slow down and dissect the plot.
The journey, man, the twists and turns, and the journey.
It's unique for that reason, but it's not better for that reason. Plus, there wasn't any pornography.
Yeah, but how about that scene where they sing? Where they're singing?
I want nothing but these to be episodes where we talk about pornography. You just won't take the bait.
No, dude, you know that part at the end of the movie when they're in the woods and they're singing, but yet everyone's just like so beaten down mentally from war, like, and the looks they give each other, like those are moments, you know what I mean?
Again, you should see the scene where the guy has to go looking inside the arm of another guy for his split vein.
Oh, that's a movie you're setting me up for?
Yeah, Black Hawk Down.
Oh God.
It's gruesome. It's gruesome. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
Dude, also that Pat Tillman documentary where I told those ladies to shut the fuck up. They still make me angry about that shit. Gawking at them. Oh my.
Did you threaten suffrage, taking that away, Luke, on them, or what?
Listen, that was such a lot. That was like 15 years ago. Like, times have changed a little bit, you know? You can't quite just tell women to shut the fuck up in public as easily, but they deserved it. They deserved it.
That was very misogynist of you, right?
No, dude. Fuck them. I'm sorry. So, no, don't be going there gawking on a dead man like that. Don't be doing that shit. Just keep it to yourself. You know how many times you, as a sexual fucking pervert, gawk at women in your head, and you just keep it to yourself?
Luke, that man was a hero, and his country let him down.
Who? Pat Tillman? Yeah. All right, we're not doing the Pat Tillman thing, are we?
We were on that Greg Kelly interview.
I think I gotta call my wife and kid. Dude, hold on. We gotta talk about this real quickly. The Commanders, bro. It's official. Did you see it?
No, what's official?
So Schefter reported it, but then Dan Snyder, Josh Harris, which is one of the primary but not the only new owner, they all put out a statement being like, "We're selling. We're selling to the Josh Harris Group. It's official. We look forward to a swift transaction, and to wish them well. It's official. Dan Snyder has said he's on the way out. It's not exactly completely 100% done, but this is the first time that he has obviously ever acknowledged.
Did the league force his hand?
Dude, it's not just that. There was a tweet from Grant Paulson, like all the former employees speaking out about the abuse, all the media work to like shed a light on what a fucking crook this guy was. Everybody in between, like who helped to do it. Like, it was such an awful thing. It was such an awful thing. I just can't tell you, man. Like,
is he a dirtbag on the Weinstein level or more like a James Dolan level?
It's really hard to say. He's trying to indemnify himself from Mary Jo White, who's got a big report coming out on him as well, on some other, I think, workplace issues. Like, it's just fucking awful. Dude, they ruined that fucking team. Dude, when I was a kid, in the 90s, at the time, the Redskins, they were fucking gods, man.
But the Hogs, dude, they weren't cool, though. They weren't cool.
You're out of your mind, because you were a Giants fan. They were punk
I'm not
your
a Giants
bitch ass.
fan. The Hogs were not cool. I mean, that 91 team was great, but they weren't, like, cool, dude. They're a bunch of fat people with pig masks.
Yeah. Well, in D.C., they were fucking cool, so fuck off. But
but you never had... My point is, our whole time as kids, you didn't have someone on the Redskins that was, like, cool-ass shit. Like,
Art Monk, fuck you.
Dude, Art Monk was not cool as shit. Art Monk was...
You mean like the Icky Shuffle? Cool?
Yeah, like, you don't have Bo Jackson, Deion Sanders. You don't have, like...
Flair.
You don't have a star, Luke.
Flair.
You don't have a star. I mean, Dexter Manley, dude, he did a lot of drugs. Dexter Manley loved cocaine.
Dude, I briefly, in a different career path, I crossed paths with his wife, who worked for a luxury jewelry retailer I worked for a brief spell.
As a security guard?
Yeah.
Armed?
Yeah, she was lovely.
Armed security guard?
No. Well, the other guy was. I wasn't.
Why not?
Dude, New York licensing in, what was it, 2002 to get a weapon was, I don't know what it is today, but even then it's really fucking difficult. And
Plexico Burris got one.
Who?
Plexico Burris.
Did he, though? I mean, he had one, but he
shot himself.
I understand. What I'm saying is, like, I know that he had one, but should he have had one?
No.
In the end?
No.
I don't think he did himself any favors, did he?
No.
Imagine shooting yourself and then having to go get prosecuted for it.
Okay, so are you going to go to the theater to see Dune 2 in, like, IMAX? Like, are you going for it, bro?
I have never seen a movie in an IMAX theater.
Oh, dude, it's badass.
I've seen, like, DC has an IMAX theater, like the Air and Space or whatever the place is, and I've seen short movies, like 45-minute movies, but I've never seen like the new Top Gun or whatever.
Yeah, dude. I saw Creed 3 in IMAX and it was really good.
Yeah.
And I saw the second Sonic in IMAX. Yeah, that was real good.
Dude, you watch a lot of bad movies. Creed 3.
I mean, I'm a father.
Creed 3
That's what
sucked.
my kids like, that stuff.
Creed 3 sucked.
It didn't
my balls.
suck. It just wasn't great, and they led you to believe. Didn't the trailer lead you to believe it was going to be great? It did. It was one of the best trailers I've ever seen. It definitely did.
Maybe.
And it wasn't bad, dude. It just wasn't great. That's the thing.
It's just, it wasn't bad, but I just never bought in. You know, I just never
Michael
bought
B.
in.
Jordan's pretty cool, though.
I like Michael B. Jordan. I like him. He's a great actor. Got a great chemist, clearly.
Yeah, he's on. I mean, so was
Not even bitter at him. Just jealous. Just jealous. That's it. Just jealous.
He must. His DMs must be just. I mean,
Can you
just.
imagine? Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Just the absolute poon hound he's probably been.
Yeah, parlays
God
and
bless him.
punani. Yes, indeed. Yo, we never talk about James Krause anymore. Speaking of that.
We don't talk enough about pornography.
Yo, do you think real talk? You ready?
Yeah.
Second half of 2023, is the UFC going to be good, or is it going to be more bullshit?
Dude, did you see what their profit margin was up to?
Yes.
Just a few years ago, it was 20%. Their profit margin has grown to 34 fucking percent. Dude, they are printing money.
Yet they're watering down.
Yeah, dude, the two are related. The two are.
They got to pay off the debt.
People
This is
think
Endeavor
they're
debt.
making money despite that. No, they're making money because of that. Some of it is growth in advertising, things like that. But the point being is part of that is because they have so much inventory to sell, right? There's so many hours on so many events that they have to sell and fill with ads. And there's other ways, of course, they do that. It's not just that, but that's a big component of it. Do people think it's like, oh, how are they making money despite watering down the product? Dude, they're taking the product and spreading it 1,000 different directions, tying contracts to that, and then selling it. That's how. They're just selling more things than they were selling before.
I mean, did you see Holly Holm main event against Bueno Silva? Like, dude, they are aggressively
Just like not giving a fuck.
like, we don't care. So, I mean, dude,
they're not building.
There's something here
They're
with-
not building cards. They're just building calendars.
yeah, but there's
That's it.
something deeper here with the Dana White Contender Series. Maybe I'm watching too many of those investigative conspiracy guys on YouTube, but like, dude, they are bringing in. This is like Clone Trooper, development. You know what I mean? Like, they are bringing in hungry, cheap guys, and that's how. Like, Luke, do you know how many of those guys are managed by the same people too?
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
There's a pipeline here, and
Dude, who gets the least amount of scrutiny in the industry? It's managers. They get the least amount of scrutiny because for a lot of media outlets, that's the gateway to get access to the fighters. That's not entirely true. That's not always true, but it's generally true. People think it's mostly like Ali because I know he's got some famous feuds with people. But it's not. Like, it's like most of these any manager that's got like several hundred clients, for sure they're going to act in like a gatekeeping kind
Okay,
of
I
way.
want to ask you an important question.
Huh?
You'll think it's unrelated, but it is. Lando Calrissian. Did he have no choice? In the Cloud City when he let Darth Vader in and he set up his friends?
He didn't have no choice, but he made, all things being what they were, he made the right choice. Not to betray, but what I'm saying is he had a choice. He could either like, I'm going to fight Darth Vader to the death, certainly going to lose. Or he can go along with this scheme and hope to wiggle out of it later, which is risky and shitty and awful, but it's better than instant death.
Okay, then what?
Because in the end, Han lived, Leia lived, Luke lived, Chewie lived, C-3PO lived, R2-D2 lived. Like, everyone lived. So, like, clearly it was the correct choice.
R2 was a bitch, dude.
R2 was... R2,
No, I'm sorry, C-3PO was a...
C-3PO was just a hoe.
Yeah.
Just a complete...
Yo, R2 had some
It's
spunk.
like, dude, how are you this fucking neurotic as a cyborg?
Yeah.
Like,
All right, but back to this. So are the managers... Like, because we all... Look, when I get deeper in this, I watched all the MMA stuff, dude. He's got something going here with this, how he's framing the way the manager's role is. That they are surviving by becoming the pipeline from the regional scene to the UFC. They're not out there fighting Dana White. They're not, Luke. It doesn't seem like they are.
No, they can't. Dude, how could you fight Dana White if you have 300 clients?
But
Like,
their
seriously.
promotion...
How could you make money if you have that many clients and you don't have access to the UFC, you couldn't actually make enough money you couldn't employ enough guys
Right.
to get commission checks to make it worth your while.
But it's tied in deeper. It's keeping the regional scene alive because they're all getting the UFC contract, Fight Pass contract. But it's creating a funnel system, which is not a problem unless you look at this with a critical eye and say the manager's job is to get the most money in the best situation for their fighters. Are they actually doing that, or are they just surviving and keeping both relationships going, Luke?
Yeah, I think again, here's what needs to be explained to me. Someone explain to me how the business model, not of boutique firms or which have a small amount of clients, or Nate Diaz famously, like the guy who reps him only reps Nate, like he doesn't rep anybody else. I think those things obviously work, and there's going to be some borderline cases or whatever, and we can all debate them. But the ones that have like hundreds of clients, like that model doesn't work, but for compliance with UFC. And you're like, oh, they could take their clients elsewhere, dude. No, the fuck they couldn't. No, actually, no, they couldn't. There's not enough other places that could employ them to make that worth their while. Also, that's the most lucrative end. So like, even if you could get them jobs, you would be like vastly undercutting your own ability to get wealth. Like, I don't understand the ethics of that business model. So perhaps I'm missing something about it, which is possible, because it's hard to get any manager on the record to actually like defend the business model as such. Like, anything where you're that leveraged just by the virtue of the relationship, it's just impossible for me to believe that that's the best way to get things for each client. It literally doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I don't know if they're Landos and they're just surviving the same, or if this is just another ridiculous obstacle that the average fighter in 2023 still has to deal with.
I mean, just think about it. Like, if you wanted to get sideways with UFC and you're a manager and you have like, let's say 400 clients or whatever, 300 clients, like, you're actually more leveraged by having more clients. Right? Like, if you had one client and they told you to go pound sand, they can't hold the fate of the other ones against you. And, imagine if you have one person who's kind of struggling, or a bunch of people that are kind of struggling, a bunch of people that are doing pretty great, and, you need to account for all of those needs. Are you in a position to make sure that you're getting the custom results that each person's individual situation would necessitate when you're having to leverage risk from one relationship to the next, one risk in realities to the next, where they could be in vastly different situations, vastly different needs from the promotion, and in fact, those needs could be in conflict with one another. That's the optimal business model for.
Well, look,
I don't understand.
But who had an aggressive manager? Well, you can look at Francis, and it got to the point where it became so caustic that they had to break up.
Right. So this is the point. Like, I don't. Going hard in the paint against them, I don't know that works necessarily either.
That's what I'm saying.
Dude, if they're that powerful, seriously answer the question. If they're that powerful, what leverage, even under the very, very, very best of circumstances, do you actually have? There are some ways to get some, but dude, it's just not fucking much. It's just not much. And dude, like, here's the thing, man. Like, I know sometimes people in the UFC see some of this stuff. It's like, well, here's what I want to tell them. It's like, dude, you won. You won. You won. Like, I watched all those battles, man. I watched all those fly-by-night promotions. I watched the Death of Pride. I watched it happen in fucking real time. I watched it. They won. They won. They beat everyone else. And some of that, they bought them out like Strikeforce. Some of the ones they just outcompeted. Like, they're really good at what they do. They consolidated the market. They are the clear competitive winners. And obviously, those victories entitled them to a certain amount of fucking spoils, man. Like, they earned it. But the problem is, dude, they've gotten so fucking big inside the space that now I think it's starting to work against them a little bit.
Well, it's cheap. You can just like lazily say they've gotten greedy, but is it not greedy? And I'm wondering, is it because, look, they just acquired WWE. This is the same, like, they're still paying off debt from acquiring UFC, you know what I mean? At like extreme amounts. So the whole point is this: even though they're doing great financially, like, we're watching it get watered down, maybe or possibly or most likely for the sake of the parent company's bottom line.
Yes.
When the company's thriving in every other possible metric.
It is clearly, I think, to some degree being manipulated.
Like they're gutting
again,
they're cutting themselves to save more. Like I mean,
listen, I don't even. You can ascribe to that problem whoever you want, like whoever's masterminding it. But whatever the case may be, they are taking a quality product and diluting it in such a way where it's like sometimes difficult to find the where it's good or distinct or in keeping with the brand's typical standard of historical excellence.
it is troubling. It is troubling, and I love the people that have the dude. Shut up and just it's fine. It's troubling though. It is.
I just worry that it's like I don't know, like we just haven't had we've had a lot of really good stuff. We just haven't had that blockbuster, man. Like Davis Garcia, even on vacation, man, it felt fucking enormous.
Yeah, dude, that kept getting bigger.
It felt enormous, man.
Like when I landed in Vegas, if you would ask me how big do I think this fight would be, I would be still hopeful, but I wouldn't have anything to prove it. Dude, that weigh-in was out of control. Luke, there were hundreds to thousands of people that couldn't even see. Like they were so far back around the corner in crowds, and they were packed in there to just like listen to that.
Dude,
shit.
like I gotta be honest, like I love going to boxing. My relationship with it has really grown. But I love it when MMA is in a position where it has fucking huge fights like that. And the thing is this, dude, it's like, dude, Conor has given us, let's be real, Conor has given us, in terms of like big fight feels, so many fucking gems. But it'd be cool if he wasn't, like we weren't just fucking reliant on him.
Okay, what's the last?
You know what I'm saying?
Let's be honest here. What's the last non-Conor related like UFC blockbusters? Where it was one fight, and that's all you needed, and the whole sporting world was taking notice.
Khabib McGregor is...
yeah, but non-Conor. When's the last non-Conor?
Jesus.
Are you going all the way back to Rousey's first couple of title defenses?
Maybe maybe Jones, DC, maybe.
Oh yeah, that's a great point.
Maybe.
Okay, what about Lesnar? That's our...
Lesnar's 200, but like... Dude, Lesnar fucking... This is what I mean.
Lesnar had a run, dude.
I remember when he came in the sport, dude, and jolted that shit.
Yeah.
I was shocked at the electricity. He just fucking
Silva
like Thor.
Or no?
Huh?
Silva Sonnen on that level?
Maybe.
Dude, I was jacked up for that rematch, man.
That's what I mean, dude. Like, I feel like we're just... it feels like everything's... I don't know. Like... It's the kind of buzz you get from a mandatory in boxing. Like, yeah, it's fine.
So that's the fear, dude. That's the fear.
Fine.
But that's the fear of any product, whether it's your favorite beer or anything, or your favorite band. When they
favorite pornographer.
When they become too popular and they have too many resources at their hands, and they lose the creativity or they lose the drive. UFC has not lost the drive to dominate and succeed.
Dude, they don't have to. Yes, they have. Only because there's nothing left to rail against. Dude, they have utterly conquered the industry. They are the industry. They are the industry. They have complete. I remember a much more diverse industry even 15 years ago. Many more different kinds of players, different kind of power centers. The UFC has fucking absolutely taken over.
I mean, maybe that'll just last 6 months, and it's just let's pinch pennies for a little bit. Let's bring this number to this point, but. All will be forgiven with big fights, but I just need consistency, man. I need quality. I
just need pornography.
And I'm just talking about as a fan, Luke, okay? Like, it's just weird, man. And it's so unexplained. Like, no one's going to ask Dana that anyway. Like, no one's going to be like, hey, Dana, what's going on with the quality?
And I've done it too. Like, people bag on the people who are there, but it's like, bro, like, dude, that job that they do, like, it necessitates being there, right? Otherwise, the job doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So, yeah, of course, you can push Dana a little bit, but you can't do it to the point where, like, they have to, like, you're not allowed in the building anymore, and then they got to get somebody else, and you're like, oh, well, then don't take those jobs. But it's like, dude, these people are just feeding their families. Like, I think trying to, what you should, to me, I've always felt the problem was that the media companies never empowered you to, like, make choices like that. And so all of those companies will cave. And so, like, your job would be imperiled. Like, they would just get rid of you. So, you just have to understand where that situation. Like, Dana has, Dana does like this interesting like podcast circuit now, where it's like I think he still does like Jim Rome and stuff like that. But in general, he goes on like a lot of like a sports-oriented, barstooly kind of podcasts and stuff. He still does Aaron Bronstetter and TSN because I think obviously they're the Canadian partner and whatnot. But he doesn't really have conversations at all with any kind of a skeptical or otherwise inquisitive audience. I know Aaron does his best, And I think he
Yeah,
does
no,
push
there's a
him.
lot of people that do their best. I mean, there's
But again,
even
if Aaron went in there and been like, angrily got adversarial with him, the TSN is the partner. TSN will tell Aaron to go pound sand.
yeah, they will.
They're not going to get his back. I've seen this battle. Like these companies don't do that. They fold immediately. So dude, let's say he doesn't have to answer for anything.
I mean, but you can't it's easier for us to be a little bit more freer and open and honest because we're not reliant upon them on the day-to-day access that keeps our show afloat. Are we all reliant upon some lead MMA promotion doing great business so we all thrive? Yeah, we're all kind of in that together in that regard, but we're also fans and we want better quality. Whatever, dude, who cares? I'm covering it anyway because I love this game, Luke.
Yeah, I mean, I have to, I like, good or bad, I got to be there.
And I want to be there anyway.
So
I mean, I'm a boxing fan. To stay a boxing fan, you have to want the marriage to work, Luke, okay?
I only feel the heat in terms of, like, there's just not been blockbuster events that you could, like, Davis Garcia was big for us, but in terms of MMA, like, huge events, there just hasn't been one in a really fucking long time, or it just feels that way anyway.
All right, dude,
But some really good ones. But
what's your feel level for Haney Lomachenko?
I have a feeling Haney's going to win very fairly in a competitive fight where Lomachenko just looks old.
Looks old, or will it showcase, like, will Haney get the credit under that scenario?
Yes.
Dude, I'm really excited about that fight. I'm really excited.
I am most excited about the news about Spence and Bud.
I mean, we haven't heard much, but that might be a good thing.
That one seems like it's pretty good.
It seems like it's coming. The heavyweight thing's weird. Only if you believe there's money on it.
Dude, I'm so checked out on the heavyweights in boxing.
Dude, it seems like Joshua and Wilder
make a fucking fight.
Yo,
like,
but it does.
But
I know. I guess Ruiz is now in, then out of the Fury
dude,
picture.
The heavyweights, like all these motherfuckers are not fighting each other. That's what I know. I see a lot of reports about fights that aren't actually happening.
Yeah, it does feel like AJ and Wilder want to fight each other. So hopefully in some form that happens. I mean, that's a stadium fight in England.
It would be great. I'm not going to sit here and just jerk off over like more, It could happen. It'd be great if it did.
Dude, that's how boxing fandom works.
Dude,
okay?
dude, that's the most copium.
How else are you gonna?
Sad-ass
Here's the
shit.
thing, dude. It's a broken marriage, but we still chasing the dragon.
You're the guy who likes to date dumb women, like of course.
No, I'm not the guy who likes to date dumb women.
You were like, dude, I could totally see that. I'm like, why? Why would you want a partner?
No,
Why would you want a partner that you found boring to talk to?
Basically, I'm saying I understand what people are looking for when they're looking at that, but I'm telling you that they're looking for imbalance based on them being imbalanced. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that like that's the way you should, but
you mean like if they feel like they're not smart, they also want someone who's not smart? It's like not get run over.
Then they can feel like
here's what I'll say.
They're the one in control.
It's not a certain absolute level. You just want someone, either right around your intelligence level. Maybe you want someone slightly higher, as like a whatever, roughly around where you're at. As long as you meet somebody roughly around where you're at. Again, I think that can be great. I'm talking about the ones who like clearly want to step down.
No,
because all they care about is the other things.
I know, but I do get that idea. When you're a broken person, you tend to reach down in your pursuit, maybe out of some deep insecurities. You know what I mean? If you want it. That's why guys will want to date younger people a lot, Luke. Okay,
right. I want to call my wife and kid.
They could be, but no, dude. I married up. I mean, my wife is she's fearless, and that's my favorite quality in a woman, Luke.
Dude, my wife's ability to detect bullshit is absolutely next level. I have tried all my fucking kung fu mastery, and it has 1,000,000,000% not worked. Plus, we're running out of recording time, so
I don't. I thought
we don't really drink on these anymore, so they're a little more boring. If I can be honest.
But I don't. I think that was an enjoyable talk between. I wanted to say two friends, but
now it's time for the
A,
sodomy.
we're really not that close, and B, I meant three, the people at home watching. Luke, don't you want to make them feel like they're here on the couch, but you don't actually want them to make.
I want to call my wife and kid.
Oh God! All right, Luke. I'm getting out. I'm
all
done.
Right. That's it.
That's it.
Bye, everyone.
That's it.